Good evening. This is the 9 o'clock news. No. Hi guys, Todd here. It's been a while. It's actually been back in March, April. 10 years. 10 years. And probably 10 stone lighter 10 years ago that I started doing this shit. And I've been putting this off all year. Ever since we reached the 10-year mark. I really didn't want to do this, but we're here and we're going to do it. So, I just want to say a good evening to everybody that's here in chat. Wherever you may be from, whatever you may be doing, even if you're sitting on the john, like Mike Davis usually does. It's the only time he watches my videos is when he's in the toilet having a dump. But that's something you didn't need to know. But yes, no matter where you are in the world, if you're watching this live or if you watch it after the event, thank you very, very much. I really don't. Right. Ross Patterson, you can talk, fatty. In your double glazing salesman suit jacket that's too small to do up anymore. I see you. Cheeky sod. I'm only joking. I will also say that for once, the phone is on silent. So, it's not often that I get that right. Right. Let's just start off with the normal kind of stuff before we launch into the whole. You know how it goes. Right. I'm vaping on some, as we like to say here, some milky piss, as always. A little latte. Because I'm just that kind of guy. Your hair seems to get darker every year. What's that? Listen, mate. I purposely left a little bit of white in there, just for dicks like you to point out. Yes, I'm drinking a coffee. I have to stop reading chat because I just can't help but react to some of the comments that my good friends leave for me. What am I vaping on? Well, tonight, Matthew, I'm vaping with the Vixet. Anybody remember these guys? Pima, Vixet. I've got the Vixet Squonker there as well. This is the stereo. It's really, really such a good mod. But on this, I have the Arcana. It's by. No, it's not the Arcana. Shite in a bike. Is it? Yes, it is. It's the Arcana 22, a joint collaboration between Arcana Mods and Pipeline, and it is very, very much as it comes in the box, mouth to lung. And I will say I've only had it for 2 days. It arrived yesterday. As far as mouth to lung vapes go, very, very good. That's 12 watts I'm at there on a 1 ohm coil, and it's super. Honestly, it's not often I say this, and maybe I shouldn't because it's not the right way to do things, because I haven't fully tested it or used it in anger as such. But if you're after a mouth to lung tank, I think they get released tomorrow. €99, well worth a look. If you've got €99 burning a hole in your pocket. Actually, I always remember you reviewing that one, really, John. Jam. God's in the house. Mr. Frape has arrived. So, if we're going to be talking about really old shit, then John's here. John can keep us right. And then if we're talking about stuff from the prehistoric stage, you know, Neanderthal stage, Sasha's just arrived as well. And he's a miserable old bugger, so he should be able to help us. So I'm vaping that. I've got the Sub Monkey Squonker with Skyfall on top, which is squonking is coming back. I don't care what anybody says, it's coming back. I'm also vaping with the Stubby. I've got the Stubby on the go here, and I can't remember what's inside it. Oh, it's the BP Mods Doodah, the TMD thingy. There you go. Right, and last but not least, I dug this out, I stuck a battery in it, I hit it with a hammer, literally, to get it working because it had a little mishap. But yeah, I've got my Stig Helix is on the go. I've got that on the go, and in there I have a Monarchy J3 SPQ 99.5 V2. J3 SV2? I think, can't, right. Yes, sorry bud. It weighs a ton. It weighs an absolute ton. It's insane how heavy this mod is, but it's beautiful. That is beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. That is gorgeous. You're talking about the mod during the sausage finger. Leave my fingers alone. I'm okay. You may have a point. It's like a pack of Richmond sausages. So that's what I'm vaping on. Right, we have a few people in here. Okay, so we can get going with this. There's one thing that I want you to be aware of before we start this, and that is that never ever forget that I am a vaping professional. So I'll just wrap it around the first short post, and told you. You should always listen to what I say when it comes to vaping, because I always know what I'm doing. That was from a long time ago, that one. Oh, there's burst out the old Genesis Atties. I've not got much in the way of Genesis Atties. Ham hands. The Chi Yu was the rage. Yeah, the Chi Yu. Clone Drama was here. Yeah, the Clone Drama was on the go before the Chi Yu, I think. But yeah, right. There's some things I'm not very good at. Coiling, magnets, light and colour balance, and actually talking about myself. I like to think I'm okay at doing hardware reviews, but talking about myself and what I've done is not something I really enjoy doing, and that's kind of what this video is going to be about, is this channel and what I've been doing for the past 10 years. So if I and if I get embarrassed and all that shit, then I'm really sorry. But and if I keep going off and I keep reading chat, I'm really sorry. Okay, we'll get this out the way. They'll get this bit out the way. The first thing I have to do is I have to thank the people that watch the videos, and that's you guys. That's you guys and everybody else that's watched over the years. That's a decade of people, my mum and dad mainly, watching these videos, and I wouldn't keep doing them if you didn't watch them, and so I have to thank you for that. Or I'm getting hot under the collar and embarrassed already. I have to thank you for that, new and old, and everybody that leaves a comment, everybody that takes the piss. It's brilliant, and it's It's what makes this fun. Don't get me wrong, the hardware is up there with being the best. That is the main attraction, but it's the interaction. It's the interaction with my fake fag friends, as Gaz would say. That's what really makes this. I'm not reading chat. Don't read chat. The other thing I have to get out the way at the start, apart from you guys, is over the past decade are the modders and the vape companies and the juice companies that have, and let's be honest here, sent me free shit. I started, we'll come back to it, but when I started reviewing, it was a while before I got my first bit of free gear to review, and for that I will always be indebted to Atmazoo. The Atmazoo guys were the first company that ever took a punt on me and sent me a free bit of gear and let me review it. Up until that point, I wouldn't like to tell you how much money I'd spent or how much money I continue to spend, but yeah, that was that. And even now, there's lots of modders out there that send me gear, and they don't have to. They don't have to, because, being honest, they're selling the gear anyway, and I sometimes wonder now about the relevance of e-cig reviews and what I do, and things have changed so much, and maybe we'll talk about that later, but that's by the by. The main thing is the people that send stuff free to review and show off to you guys. Yeah, it's just, can't thank them enough, really can't. And I'll talk about some of them as we go along here. Quick chat, it's only been around for 4 years. Pam, 4 years with you. It honestly feels like a decade. What can I say? Do we get a prize? Keith, you get a prize just for coming. My undying love. I missed Dennis's comment. Dennis, you kept me on. Sorry, there's chat flying up there. You helped keep me off the cigs. Yeah, that's. I'm going to move on. Yeah, that's the main thing. That's the big thing, and that's the one thing you can never forget, is helping people stay off fags. That threw me. That threw me. Right. I need another vape. Right. Before we get going, I'm going to show you something. You can get this out your system first. I'm going to regret this. I'm not going to show you all of it, but this, oh dear God.
Hi guys, Todd here. Just got my new 6mm Pyrex glass tank from Chris at Brit Vapes, and it is currently filled with pineapple ice, 18mg, and I have to say that this is stunning. Best throat hit and taste I've had out of, well, any of the flavours that I've got from Chris so far. Really like this. But anyway, this is about the tank. Really easy to put together. Don't know if you'll be able to see this well here, but it actually comes with 1, 2, 3 triple punched, which made a huge difference, I find. Just immediately.
Can't watch that anymore. If I do this, and I talk in a high voice, then I sound. I don't know what happened. 10 years ago, what happened in 10 years? I'll tell you something. See, from 42 to 52, it's not easy on you. It's not easy on you at all. Um, that was the first review, if you like, that I did. That was the first real review. I'd done other videos. But that was the first video I posted to UK Vapors. I think that was UKV1. I posted that, not UKV2. RIP UK Vapors 1 and 2, which was, in my opinion, was the best vape forum, and I learned so much on there. Yes, what a place to be. It was brilliant. It really was good. Yeah, John, it's 18mg that does it. 18mg gives you a high-pitched voice and makes you look younger than you actually are. I'm just going to say, screw you, HD video. I hate you forever. Right, here we go. A lot of you have heard this. I'm really sorry, but we'll go with it. I worked. What was I doing at the time? Holy shit! I've forgotten. No, I haven't forgotten. I worked for BSkyB in IT service management. Out in the vape shelter, not the vape shelter, the smoke shelter, having a fag, just as you do. And he was actually Polish, strangely enough. Came out, had a Riva 510 battery, a Cartomizer. I thought, what's that? He said, it's a gadget. He gave me a shot of it. I ordered it that day. It arrived the next day. And I haven't had a cigarette since. I did no investigation, no homework, no nothing. Just dived straight into it, and away I went. I then went onto UKV, had a look on there, UK Vapors Forum, started chatting away to folk, as you do, finding out about stuff. My first upgrade, if you like, was from the Riva. I went to, I don't know, some of you might remember, an Argento. It was like a semi-mech. It was like a mech with wires in it, basically. And it used to suffer really badly from a hot spring. I remember that. And then it just went, somebody said, can you show us this new tank you've bought? I went, alright, I'll do a video for it. And posted it up on YouTube, and here we are, 10 years later. 10 years later. It's, yeah, been fun. I only did a couple of reviews like every few weeks. I didn't do much of anything. And then what happened was I went a little bit Delali. I kind of had I wasn't well, shall we say. A bit of a mental breakdown, depression, all that jazz. And for 3-4 years I was kind of off the planet. And the only thing that kept me grounded during that time was doing reviews. I never spoke about it then. I spoke about it a lot afterwards, and but I really wasn't well. But that period, 2012 to 2016, that was for the kind of the golden years of vaping for me, because that's when everything just went boom. It went nuts, absolutely nuts. And I know a lot of you are before that period and after that period, you know, during there. That's when things just went crazy. They really went crazy. There was, everything was so new. There was like new coils, there was new ways to coil, there was new materials, there was new mods all the time. But it wasn't like they were all the same. Everything was different. It was just nuts. Obviously it started off with things like the Genesis, which is Genis. There isn't another E in there, as Sasha keeps telling me. I'll come back to the questions in a minute. I'll sort of stop in a minute. So yeah, it kind of started off with the Genesis gear. Um, I could talk about. I would love to sit and go through a lot of the old videos with you. I did. I pulled this up earlier on. I'll show you this. And I was going to do a compilation thing and go through them, but I mean, a lot of you remember Throat Hit. Do you guys remember Throat Hit? Like he did the Steampunk, the Eraser. You must remember. A lot of you remember that. That was stacked Joule 18350. There was Steam Machines. Remember the one with Steam Machine? The Gripper mod from Safer Sigs. There's just, it goes on, and there's lots of gear that I would love to sit and talk to you about. But to be honest, oh god, I even did e-liquid. Oh, Pixie Juice. Remember Pixie Juice? Holy shit. And the Galileo. Oh, the Galileo was awesome. Honestly, I would love to go through a lot of these with you, but we would be here for hours, days. So yeah, all I can say is that at the start, for that 4 years, my channel, I'll get to the big one, but everything was exciting. Everything. Absolutely everything. Twisted wire. Vaping donuts. Ceramic wicks. Cotton. Boom. Wow. Cotton was amazing. And still these... I'm not bad mouthing what happens now. I know a lot of the old guard do, and I don't agree with them in a lot of things, but back then, speaking for myself, it was one of the best hobbies I've ever had in my life, was vaping, because it was so new. I'm just going to have a quick look through chat here, sorry. Everyone came out the woods. Vape saved my life and mine too when I got sick. Good. Glenn Watson's mother. Anyone seen my boy? My big buddy. Well, there's a cracker. Every time I dry hit and Genzi nearly went back on the cigs. Remember the 48 milligram from Liberty Flights? Holy shit. Boil the cotton twice. I mean, that was the thing with the cotton. The cotton, I was going into Boots and I was buying cotton. I was bringing it home. I was boiling it in a pot and then taking it out, patting it dry in paper towels, and then leaving it on top of the radiator to dry out before I used it, because that's what you were supposed to do, apparently. And then we had the Rayon. Remember Rayon as well? Everybody had big boxes of Rayon tucked under their desk because they thought that was the stuff that they had to use for wicking. And then there was Muji, Res camera. Yeah, bloody hell. Less money than car. Less. That's strange. That, I mean, yeah. I must admit, vaping did come after my... I was big petrol head, new car every few months. That kind of stopped. Then I got into the vaping, and it became the new hobby. And vaping was cheaper. Buying vape gear was so much cheaper than being into cars. Way cheaper. Muji, yes, let's not forget Muji. Muji was the... And listen, I'm not going to take it away from people. It's marketing. It's everybody's got something to sell. But if at the end of the day, if all I had to use was Muji, I'd be very happy. I'd be very happy. I wouldn't have any issue just using Muji. It's dirt cheap. unless you're Gareth and you buy it from eBay for a silly amount of money. We'll not go there. And yeah, right, I need to get some kind of path here. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I really don't. Another thing I would like to mention before we go on any further is, and I'll get it out of the way because some people get pissed off about it, but that's their call. The charity stuff. I started doing the charity stuff on Vape Pit, in the Vape Pit of all places. It was a katana that I got from Simon, if I remember right. And that was the first thing I put up for a charity. Anyway, Q2 10 years later, and it's not. And I say this, it's not me. I get lots of free shit, and it goes up for charity and whatnot. But it's not that far away from 200,000 over the past 10 years, which is can't sniff at that. And that's all you. It's all you. That's you and the modders and the vape companies and whatnot giving away gear. And thank you to anybody and everybody that donated over the past 10 years. It's been possibly one of the biggest highlights in my life, strangely enough. Not Karen's, I must admit. She thinks she hates it. She says, that's something else going to a charity. Yes, that you should be selling it. But anyhow, there we go. I will also say I apologise for not putting up much for charity. The monthly charity auctions this year, we stopped it early on this year, February or March I think it was, because the way the world was going and asking money from people for buying charity tickets and whatnot when you had so much else going on in the world, it just didn't feel right. So that's why it stopped. But we'll see what happens next year. We might kick it off again and doing a little bit of good again, because I need to pay my way in through the pearly gates and all that, you know. Right, let's Johan, can I swear in this? Can I don't normally swear in my videos and reviews and whatnot, but Johan just brings it out in me. He just brings it out in me. You lovely man, you. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Houston, we've got an issue. No. Right. What I'm going to do is I'll sum this up and then we'll just wing it. We'll just blather. I'll come back to chat in a minute. 4 years. I ended up working in a vape shop because office life was just broke me. So I went and worked in a vape shop for a while. I got sick fed up of people saying, what's your favourite oil? What juice would you recommend? So they decided that I was miserable, so they made me the area manager for all the shops. I lasted a few months at that, and then at that point I was doing consultation for some vape companies, mostly in China, and I was actually making money from doing the consultation. So I jacked in the vape job and I set up my own little business, and I've been self-employed doing consultation for four years now, I think it is, and that's just about died. I might have to go and get a real job, but hey, that's not a problem. So that's kind of where my vape life has been. But as far as reviews go, It really kicked off. It's now. I wouldn't want to be an e-cig reviewer now. My heart goes out to anybody that thinks they want to be an e-cig reviewer and that they're going to be popular, famous, all that bullshit. Not a chance. Not unless you sell your soul, which, touch wood, I hopefully never have. If you're prepared to sell your soul and be a dick, then yeah, then there's possibly still room for making something of yourself in the e-cig reviewing world. But if you're doing it for shits and giggles, numbers don't matter. Numbers don't matter. But my first big video, and I know a lot of you will remember this one. Does anybody remember the immortal words? It's a pipe bomb. That's when things just went south. Very, very quickly. Very quickly. For those of you who don't know, was it the Manhattan? The Manhattan. At that point, I'd been reviewing mechs for a few years. You know, I was quite comfortable with it, and even earlier on, we didn't worry about vent holes and shit like that in mods. We don't. What do you want a vent hole for? You know, it didn't come into it, and then it did. It became a thing, having a vent hole for your battery. And then there was a couple of American guys, if I remember back in the, I can't remember his name now. Jesus Christ. He used to get a balloon. He would blow a balloon up and he would wrap it around the switch on the bottom. And if no air would escape, then he would say, well, this is a bomb. You know, there's nowhere for the air to go. So I got the Manhattan and I was blowing into it and there was no air passing through it at all. So when I did the review, I just said, there's no air passing through this, it's a pipe bomb. And it just went to shit. Everything went wrong. I got so much crap for that one. But the video went boom, and then people started watching in America and stuff like that. And it was fun and games. It was fun and games. A Sapburn. We're not going for the Sapburn. We're not talking about the Sapburn. We're talking about the Manhattan. But even then, back then, and this is the thing, I hate talking about this. At no point did I badmouth anybody. I didn't do a drama video over it. I didn't do retaliation videos. Didn't do any of that bullshit. It's just stood on its own because... But there was all these other videos popping up where, like, Mythbusters type thing, and it was just... Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. You remember? Yes, I will admit that I did. I bought a Sapburn mech, and I was doing a live unboxing, and I did happen to screw an ATI onto it, and I did it in the wrong order. It was a newbie mistake. Never mind the fact that I'd been vaping for about 8-9 years at this point, and I ended up having to toss the mod and everything out the shed door. It was just... Yes, that was bad. That was very bad. Thank you for reminding me, guys, about that one. Anyway, so moving on from that, it was that's when everything started going quite big. You know, you had lots of like Plumes of Hazard. You know, you got all these reviewers appearing all over the place and whatnot. And for so long, it was just there was about as many reviewers as there are now. You know, well, sorry, that sound like a narcissist. As many as there is now, let's just say. I don't know about you guys, I'll ask you, who did you start off with? And don't say me, because I'm here and I don't want to hear it. But Bissardo, I Getcha, before he had the teeth. That was my learning ground. That was what really got me in. There was nothing quite like watching Scott I Getcha 69 doing a video breaking down a Golden Greek UFS or something like that. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And what's really scary is that his video quality 10 years ago is better than mine is a decade later. Go figure. Go figure. JC West. Holy shit. Oh, he was... I'm not even going to get into that. Here we go. Sasha. Yes, Sasha did some cracking videos. Fluid Dynamics for the win. What was the name of the Atty again, John? What was the Atty again? It was the... Oh, Jesus whip, that's gone right out of my head. That was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. The funniest thing, because Scott I Getcha was so professional. He never really broke character. He always did the same thing, and he never gave an off-the-cuff opinion on anything. For a long time he never cracked a smile or anything. And then he started doing the viewer requested cloud shot and cracking the wee joke here and there, getting comfortable in his own skin. And then he did that Fluid Dynamics one, which was just, it wasn't in your, it was, Jesus Christ, what was it? I'm waiting for I can't remember. Actually, Navy Diver. Navy Diver was superb. He was one of my favourites. I really, really liked his videos. It was such a shame that he stopped, because he was good. There was an American company. They made mods and they made it's going to come back. It'll come back to me by the time I finish. Johan Indoor Smokers. Do you know, that says a lot about you, Johan? I mean, that explains a lot. If I had to pick somebody, I would have said you started with Indoor Smokers. His battery wrap video. Yeah. You could talk about reviewers all night as well, and how that's changed over the 10 years. A lot of it's not been fun, I must admit. That was the worst thing. Actually, do you know, I don't like talking about negative shit. I really don't. But that was, out of the whole reviewing thing, I think that was the worst thing for me. Was other reviewers. For a long time it was the thing for new reviewers to try and make their names and whatnot, bad mouthing existing reviewers. Got a lot of shit for that. A lot of shit. That's when I switched off YouTube comments and I stopped doing as much videos. And then I developed a shit shield and just got on with it. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do some questions. I'll tell you what. If you have any questions, hit me up with them just now. I'm going to read some questions that have been left for me, and I'll just these ones were from the Shed Facebook group. Okay. Right. We had a question from Dave Smithson. It's a very strange man, is our Dave. A very strange man. I've actually lived in fear for years that one night I would wake up during the middle of the night and Dave Smithson would be standing at the end of my bed with a gimp suit on, saying, "Hi guys, Dave here." I really did. He does scare me that much, does our Dave? Shouldn't say that. I take that back. Right. Ultim polishing tips. Do I have any Ultim polishing tips? That goes back to, was it the Poet? I got an Ultim cap for the Poet RDA by Van and Del. I went to polish it in the garage and I put it on the buffing wheel, and it just missed my eye by about that much. Flying in the garage, disappeared forever. In fact, it's still in the garage. I don't know where it is, but that's what that Ultim... I get that gag a lot. Polishing Ultim. Magnets. Magnets is a big one because I put magnets in the wrong way and I couldn't get the door back on a mod that I'd made, and yeah, I got the piss taken out of me. So, yeah. Dave Smithson, again, I told you, he's really scary. Discuss reviews you have removed from your channel. Okay. Right. This is... In 10 years, mod makers tend to fit into a few categories. There are mod makers, and you have to put yourself in their shoes. They're sending you something that they've put blood, tears, sweat into, okay? This is their baby, and you're going to do a video stating what you think about it. And I get a lot of crap for this. People say, you like everything. I always give pros and cons, but I'm not a dick about it. Because if you're a dick about it, then you're just... How would you feel? Okay, how would you feel? If you're going to give feedback, do it in a constructive manner. That's always my take on it. However, there have been some mod makers over the years that don't like constructive feedback either. In fact, they don't do any kind of feedback unless it's glowing. There's actually a few mod makers out there that unless you're singing the praises, they go mental. So because of that, I have a few mod makers whose gear I have reviewed, whose videos are now marked private, because I just take them down. Because there's one thing I learned late on when I was doing this stuff, is that you don't have to listen to people's bullshit. You can switch it off. It's the internet. You just switch it off. It's brilliant. If somebody's bugging you on the internet, just switch them off. Don't get into it. And that's what I chose to do. So there are a few mod makers that are, yes, gone. Should maybe put their videos back up sometime, but yeah, Emio. In fact, it's a strange thing was that, and I'll say this, I really like Emio. I think Emio is batshit crazy. He invented some of the best vape gear ever over the years that kept me entertained for hours and hours. But he's very, very precious about what he does, and he has some imagination on him. But I blether away to him from time to time now. So, hang on, I'm going to check chat, and I'm going to go up and we'll have a look at some questions here. Sorry, I'm going to go through them as quick as I can. Cheech says, not going to lie, Baldwin. Do you know, I don't watch other reviews. I used to, but then for the past few years I haven't, I must admit. I don't watch Bogan's reviews, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I've met Sam, and Sam is sound as a pound. I really liked him when I met him. He was, out of all the reviewers I've met, he's up there with one of the most sound blokes I've met. Going back down, Mr. Chasing Clouds and Flavour reviews. I have been blown away the amount of reviewers that have stopped making videos without saying a single word, and they all stopped about 3 years ago. It's weird. Yeah. That's more America, with everything going Pete Tong or wrong over there. There's Martin. Hello, Martin. So watch him. You like? I like everything. So when did you become a posh reviewer? I've always been posh, man. I used to wear a shirt when I did my reviews. Then came China. Sasha, worst thing you did for me was when you stabbed me in the back and put cotton in a Genesis. So good. That was so funny. My favourite juice. Okay, my favourite juice over 10 years. I started with menthol because that's what I smoked. I smoked menthol. I vaped menthol to start off with, and then I went through various dessert flavours, and I ended up with custard, Grant's vanilla custard, which I vaped for a long, long time. I vaped Goose Juice by Quacksters for a long, long time. Nata, I've had a few that I've kept going with. I don't want to say his name because if I say his name, he'll appear and it'll just go wrong. Everything will go wrong. Jedi's Punk RM's VC is another custard. It's probably my daily vape and has been for quite some time now. But yeah, there we go. So fave juice. JP, it's best 10 years of my life, even though I'm stuck in bed 22 hours a day because of Vape Adventure. Favourite video, not device or I don't have a favourite video. Actually, my favourite, I can't pull out a favourite. One that always sticks in my head was the iHybrid. Does anybody remember was it Faceless? Nameless? Faceless? Did the iHybrid? I got the gold one. I can't even remember what it was called. It was the gold iHybrid. Remember he did lots of different colours and it came from the States. I remember driving over to Edinburgh to the sorting office to pick it up. That was probably the most excited I'd ever been at that point to get a mod. And that will always stick in my head. That and the roller by Atmazoo, because it was the first mod I got for free to review. How many high-end mods do you own? I don't. I think high-end is the... And I know you're just saying that, Tony. And I'll say it here. High-end is usually an expression that is used by a lot of people to make out that they're somehow better than other people in what they vape. Which is sad. It's sad. I like bespoke cottage industry type mods. All my mods that are up here are from people that have... There's a story behind every single one of them. That's it. There's a story behind every single one of them. So I don't have a... How many do I have? I have a few. But yeah. Peter Stone was my first review Peter Stone. I don't even know that name. Milkshake. Sinistral, would you like a fire extinguisher to go with that? Shed Life, absolutely. Oh, Malakis. Sorry, it's the only word in Greek I know. Dame B, what are your all-time 3 favourite juices? I've kind of covered that. He doesn't like Golden Grape. He doesn't qualify as dram anymore. It's the Fireside Towel back in the day. Yes. Hi from France. Hello. Bonjour. Bonsoir. MEO. We've got to that. With better and better this is a good question. With better and better Sublime coils coming out, do you see a time when no one is building anymore? No. The hobbyist will always build. It's that simple. The hobbyist will. Mainstream, yeah. And to be... It's just my opinion here, obviously, but... Pre-made coils now can give almost as good a flavour as rebuildable. Almost. Not as good as an RDA, it depends on the tank and the juice and the build and so on and so forth. But rebuildable coils are light years ahead of what they were. I mean, light years ahead. But there'll always be sad gits like me and you lot. There'll always be us building away. Yeah, I'm not even going to mention that, Tony. I'm not going to mention that. That leave my neckline out of this. I'm just going to switch them off, then stop muting. What's your favourite video you have made? Kind of covered that. What's the best mod that someone made for you, if that's not been answered? The best mod that's been made for me, specifically for me, there was a guy called Mike back in UKV. Was it Mortimer? Mike Mortimer? Might have been. He made me this. This was one of the first kind of custom. This is a DNA 20. This is a mini atom. This is the second incarnation. I actually sent it back to him and he upgraded it. They're actually ivory buttons from a piano. It actually takes a 14650, this thing. A 14650. It was a 14500 to begin with. But that was one of the first. He was probably one of the first modders that I got taught bespoke. He was cottage industry and he made this from scratch. And I mean, that's 9 years old, and I love this. Love this. Yeah. Not many of them left, is there? Really, at the end of the day, there's not many of these guys left, which is a shame. Too many O-rings. You love Grim Green. I do. I mean, Nick's brilliant. Nick's brilliant. He was. I never went to vape events, okay? At the beginning, I never went to vape events. I'm off in one again. And a lot of you know this story. Because of issues up here. And then, after several years, I ended up going to a vape event in Ireland. And that I met Nick Grim Green there. And yeah, that was the first time I met Nick. And I met Vaping Biker. I met, I met my young bearded little hobbity friend there as well. For the first time. That was, what an event that was. That was just, that really opened things up. Anyway, what else? Just going through chat here. How do you find the whole experience of designing and releasing your own tank? It's a fair question, Joe, but as I said in the videos and so on and so forth, the HAR. Sasha, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. The HAR. This is the only DLC gold one ever made, and I own it. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. So yeah, the HAR. I never designed it by myself or anything like that. It was Sasha, it was Vanya, and myself, and a collaboration, and we did a thing. It's just drove me insane. But I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the KO as much as I did the HAR. The HAR was fun. The HAR was fun. There was more pressure with the KO. and Sasha will correct me if I'm wrong here, but it felt like there was more pressure to get something out, to catch the borrow game. And yeah, it just... I'll not lie. I'm very proud. I still think the Har is a tank I love vaping with, and I can't be happier than that. I love it to bits, and I'm proud of what the three of us put to market. I think we achieved the goal. I mean, the goal was to make something that vaped the way we like to vape, which is, you could say, was selfish, but that was the goal. And we got it made in Hong Kong, China, Hong Kong, because it would be cheaper and it would be available to more people at a lower price. And we did it. We did it. Yeah. What happened to Ruby Roo? I've not a clue. Not a clue. Vaping Fagan. Vaping Fagan was very nice. I met him in person. He's very quiet. Can we talk about the evolution of the shed? Yes, the shed. The shed, what you see here now, I used to do my reviews from the kitchen. And then Cam got fed up and basically told me she'd bought a shed. And I got moved out here. And it's been me and the wee man behind us. It's been us for 10 years out in here now. It used to be a shed, as in a working shed, if you like. I was really into woodwork. I loved woodwork. Had my chisels, scroll saw, everything, making wooden gear and whatnot. But then when I became kind of self-employed and whatnot, and I had to be here every single day, that's when it all changed. Everything changed. It's still a man cave. I mean, it's a teenager's bedroom. Let's face facts. Teenager's bedroom. But yeah, that was kind of the evolution of the shed. Going through questions. Fogger, using your review for improvement on next version. There's going to be another Fogger. Holy shit. No, seriously. There was loads of versions of the Fogger. Mr. Old, Jim. Alright, Neeb. Which RTA do you use the most? There is no... Right. As a reviewer, you're reviewing gear all the time. So, from the minute I wake up until normally 5 o'clock at night, I am vaping the gear that I'm reviewing. I have my gear here, all the tanks and Atties from over the years that I love, that I keep, that I vape with. But the working day, if you like, I'm vaping the gear that's to be reviewed. Too many. There's too many to I don't like playing favourites. I don't like playing favourites. Not because I worry about offending some other modder who thought, oh, I thought you loved mine the most. I don't really care. I would just say the Har in that case. The Har's the best Atty that I vape, and I vape that all the time in my own time because it was the best one ever made. This may be the first... No, will this be the first time I ever say this? No, it won't be. My most used RTA over the years, hands down, is that. And that's... I got to go to Athens, I got to go to Greece, and give a little input into the Skyfall RDA. And when I was there, Vasily gave me, this was a prototype for the Skyline RTA, the extended version. And it's, for me, it has been my most used RTA because I just love it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, RTA wise, hopefully that answers the question. The shed needs a lick of paint. Yeah, I should really paint. This has been a conversation point for years. You should paint the shed, and then I wouldn't be so yellow all the time, because obviously it's orange and yellow in here. But then it would look like an office. It would just look like a room. It wouldn't look like a shed anymore. And people threw their toys out the pram, and that's why it never got painted. What milligram Nick and PGVG do you use? I will vape anything if it's free. No, I'm usually, for my own stuff, I'm usually 70 or 80 VG, 3 milligram. If I'm vaping mouth to lung, I prefer to use 50-50 and 6 milligram. God, talking too much. Oh, that's so good. Someone from Fife. Yes. Brim had a full set of different colours. Yes. Innokin SVD. Now that was that was the very first thing I sold in a vape shop. Was an Innokin SVD. Strawberry Clouds. Yes. From St. Simon of Sawyers, if I remember right. John, I actually thought of asking Tassus if he had one lying around the workshop that I could buy. In fact, there's Doggy Style. Have I got the name right? They've actually released a mech. I watched a video for that today. They've released a mech, and the switch reminds me of something Atmazoo, or maybe something like Atmo Mechani, the 69, the switch and that. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Somebody from Sweden. Hello, the Swedes. The Vertas RDA guy, still waiting for a platinum coil. I have a question. Give me your Imperia RTA. Let me tell you, in the 10 years that I've been doing this, the amount of people that have got something from me by asking for it during a live. Yeah, that many. I appreciate that. You do know what we'd be going to do a review in a Christopher Walken voice. Tom, how you doing? Rebuild wasn't dead, but Mesh. We'll not talk about Mesh. Similar results. Even Mark doesn't build these days. There's a thing. I built my own coils for years. Remember going back. I remember vaping back when we didn't use AWG as a measurement system. They were good days. Good days. When you used to use a needle. You get a needle and you bit of wick, voodoo wick or something like that, and you wrapped it round. I did my coils for years, and then I met Peter at PC Coils, Peter and Ilsa, and you're nicest couple you could ever meet, really are. And I knew them for a couple of years, and then he said, I'll send you a pile of coils. My phone's in silent, Mr. Frape. It should be, I think. Anyway, see, I was on a roll there. Yeah, Peter and Elsa at PC Coils. So they said to me one day, why don't we send you some coils? And I went, alright, I'll do that. And that was when I could use a URL, and I used to say that, I used to show the tube with PC Coils. So we called them the benchmark because it made perfect sense. When you're testing devices, you use the same benchmark coil for them. That way you've got you've got a benchmark. It made perfect sense, so they kept making them for me. And I stopped making my own coils because I always used the same coils for testing. Had mouth to lung, RDL and DL coils, all the same in 2.5 or 3mm ID, and it meant that I could, yeah, it worked, and that's, it's been that way for a long time. Right, I'm just sorry if I miss anybody here. I really like the way you're reviewing your humility. My question would be, if you could keep only one gear, what would it be? If I could keep only one bit of gear, one setup. Let's do one setup. Anything. Don't care. I really don't care. If all I could grab from here, up here on this shelf, is my beater mods. In fact, T200, the Boost, Anakin, and these two. That's another Anakin and another Geek Vape. I am as happy vaping with a little bit of China as I am vaping with a bit of la-di-da gear. It makes no difference to me at all. I'm not precious about what I vape. However, in saying that, if I'm going somewhere to meet up with my fake fag friends and go for a meal, I'll take the poshest bit of gear that I can, because I'm that vain. And aren't we all? Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Oh, maybe not. So yeah, Touchwood. Touchwood, mate. Yes. What was the big honking mod you had? Yeah. Oh. The Beagle. Darwin Mods. Eddie from Darwin Mods. He was another one. Oh, spiders. He. I'm covered. Sorry, we have a spider problem in the shed. Just clean this up. Yeah, this is one of my yeah. I bought this. It was worth every penny. Can I get it to work? Should be able to get it to work. The Touchwood Mechs, yeah, 5p, that's all they were worth. 5p. Those that know. Titanide were they were awfully feminine looking mods back in the day when they first came out, and then I think they start outsourcing to China a lot of their gear, but they were always, it was nice gear. No. No, that's not working. That's not working. Sorry. Does anybody here still have that when they're using a mech? There's that moment when you go to push the firing button for the first time, and it's like you can feel the hairs in the back of your neck going up, and your shoulders kind of shrug up, and you squint your eyes. It's that first time you put a battery in a mech and you go. Or is that just me? Is that just me? It's possibly just me. Maybe I didn't have a coil in that. I'm sure I had a coil in that. We have life. Can you review the Aegis Solo? I think I've pretty much reviewed all the Aegis mods, to be fair. I've got a mouthful of tooth. Right, let's is your left nostril blocked? Yes. You had a polishing machine in your original shed? Yes, I did. You do reviews. I've thought about it. Dane, catch you later. Dominic's from Miami. Hello. K-Fun are my favourite. Yeah, K-Fun. I really do miss. I was huge K-Fun fan back in the day. Not so much now, but I was way back then. What coil air screws do you use in your Fev VS? I can't remember. If it's I like about a 1.1 1 mil 1.1 type draw in my VS. Mr. Hinchcliffe, how you doing, sir? What happened to Doc Dave? There's another one. Yeah, Doc Dave. Bloody hell. I'm just going down through chat. I've missed a lot. Avocado, Mick, I know 25 letter Fleera, hello gorgeous, what have you got? And a Hugh Hefner quote for Animods. That's it. That's what I was talking about, the new make. Yep, that was it. Remember Tim Green, huge dude from UK who did reviews? I do, yes. Trip Hammer, fizzy custard. It wasn't just fizzy custard, what was it? Ice cream scones. No, cream scones. Was it they did Trip Hammer? I vaped that for a long time as well. 69 meets Roller Dingo meets Poldiac. Yes, Andy, you're absolutely right. Best K-Fun RTA ever. Version 3.1. Well, actually, no, I suppose it'd be the K-Fun Lite. The original one. 1mm micro coils. Yes. Trip Hammer. Yep. When did the Just for Men year start? The Just for Men year started when I was 27. What's your favourite? Who is your most favourite midget? What the fuck? I don't have a favourite one. I always use the same three. Really wish Peace should cause revealment. That'll be Markscape, Paul Hinchcliffe, InnoWire. InnoWire I still use. I still use InnoWire. If I'm doing any temp control stuff, I use InnoWire. Nacho, you're right. 1.5 ohm coils, 3 cantle turns over boiled fibre. Yes, that was good. Posh, Pierre, why do you hate Gareth Lynn but love Peter Edwards? Can't answer that. How much is butter to stop the high-end vape gear for around 4 years and a cheap 18 super tank was perfect? Yeah, you vape to your budget. I mean, you vape to your budget. If you can't afford what you want, then you save for it. Simple as that. What's the most expensive ATI you own? Don't actually know. It would be the Skyline R, Imperia, the Narva. Be one of them, I would imagine. Oh, Christ, I'm well behind in chat here. I'm really sorry. Lux Mods. Holy shit. What's your favourite Boro RBA or bridge? The KO. No, I don't normally, do the favourites and all that kind of stuff, as like I said earlier. What I will say is if I had to pick one, not because it's my favourite, but I think it's the one that does everything. It's like the Dwarf. I said this to the guys as well. It's like the Dwarf, the Cloud RBA. For me, it's no frills, no fuss, easy to wick, and it does everything you need it to do. And mouth to lung to restricted direct lung and so on. I think it's, yeah, that's the one I would recommend. It's not the one I use the most myself anymore, but it's the one I would recommend to somebody if they were wanting to start out with one. The Horn mod. I don't know what the hell is the Horn mod. A Horn mod? I can't remember. Steam Pugs. Hey up. 1mm air holes. Stop doing that. It's J Marcus Jim, but don't tell him. Pam. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with chat here. Now Lux Mods did. That was one of the pretty. Oh man, what was the Lux I had? It was the Mech and the Dripper, but it was copper. I think it was copper. But the inside of the Dripper cap was stainless steel, but it had a copper sleeve on the outside. It was so clever and so well made. It was it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Curie, how you doing? Remember the Rose from Eden Mods? I do indeed. Paps X, Paps Lux. Now the Paps Lux was the first Paps. Remember it came out with the gold button. Oh my. That was now I always liked vaping my mechs with like that. And the first mod I could really do it with, you know, not doing that or that, but with my knuckle was the Paps Lux. The switch on that was, it was a revelation when it came out. It really was. It was just happy days. Anyway, Vector the robot. Have you seen how much those Vector robots are going for now? Jesus wept. Collection in 10 years. Thank you very much. Mick, you're right. It was cream tea. I want to zoom through. Stop asking questions. Which modder has the biggest thumbs? Perky Nips review kit. Have you posted that mod? Have you posted that mod that I... Mr. Perky Nips Kitchen Reviews, if you've not posted that mod yet, this is me waggling my finger at you. What's the most you've ever paid for a mod? I'm not saying that live. Yeah, I'm not saying that live. The Croati. Nacho, thank you very much. What's the... Are you getting the Gluey in for review? The Gluey? Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Is it... right. Steampugs, question. What was the biggest disappointment you were given for review? A device you were really looking forward to getting, but then you got it. Totally meh. Name and shame. I don't do name and shame, mate. I don't do name and shame. And I don't normally do biggest disappointments and crap like that, because who's got time for shit like that? But since you asked, this actually goes back to the question that was asked earlier on about videos that I've marked as private. I think the biggest disappointment I ever had was the... Nah, I'm sticking to my guns. Sticking to my guns. Not doing it. It's... Moving on. I'll tell you over a pint. Can you use chopsticks? Yes. Do you think I get to this size and not being able to use chopsticks? When did you start comparing all airflow to the Narca? I was such a dick. That's... I swear to God. I do see when the first... I think it was probably Dominic that was the first person that pulled me up for that. For many years, I never realised and I never clicked. But... yeah. So, the RDA that I used all the time was the Narda. I used it all the time. So, when I used to get stuff into review, I used to always compare it to the Narda, thinking that it was a benchmark, so people would know, obviously, that, you know, if I said it was a little bit airier than the Narda, they would know. Obviously, nobody had a feckin' Narda, and nobody could get a hold of it. It was the most up myself, narcissistic, stupid thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, but yes, that was really, really stupid. Oh, the Diablo all-in-one. The Diablo all-in-one was, remember the red one? Remember it was did he do them in aluminium? I'm sure he did them in Ali, and they were all came in different colours. The Diablos, they were brilliant. They were brilliant. Who's your favourite modder from Croatia? What do you mean you posted it today, second class? What do you mean? Just you wait until you see the Yelp review that I leave you. Just wait till you see the review I leave you on your channel. Second class. That's, yeah. The beeper. Chic boy. I have the beast in my shite. Why did I never get tired of saying that? Thank you very much. Nicolo, you make a review of an Italian modder product I don't see in the channel. What? I've done so many Italian products over the years. Loads. Loads and loads and loads. And they all burnt down or stopped working. Sorry, I'm joking. I've done lots of Italian mods. John, the Precise Strata RD, thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. White. A pint and forgetting is the best. It was a tube mod, big stump. 502. No. Actually, wasn't the 502? Not by a long shot. The 502 was actually alright. I just didn't think it was that much of an... Flavour wise, it wasn't that much of an improvement over the 454. There's Milo. Alright, Milo. Right. Remember when Scandinavian wannabe guru convinced us all he had supreme knowledge of airflow using cardboard models? Yeah, that was something else. Do you have a favourite joke? That's what you're here for, Paul. That's what you're here for. What is NO? What is NU? Thank you very much. Do you still go on with the goose juice? Yes, I have a couple of litres of it still in the freezer. Strike Vapor, what in your opinion is the best AIO and RBA price? Right, this is... Here's the thing. And we're going back in the mist of time, and I may waffle and talk shite for a few minutes here. Don't hate me for it. I'm very good at it. Talking shite, that is. How did I do this? I started vape reviewing because I liked the hardware. I liked the shiny stuff and whatnot. I used to post it in the forum and you would talk about it with other people and it was great crack and all the rest of it. And what seemed to happen with reviewers is that you used to get a lot of reviewers that I've always been of the opinion that when I review something, right, that is my opinion on it. It's not the be all and end all. It's not the ending opinion on it. It's none of that. It's just my take on it. It's my take on an ATI, a mod, RDA, whatever, okay? And when somebody says to you, and it doesn't happen so much now, but you nearly always get people emailing you, messaging you, PMing and all that jazz saying, what ATI would you recommend? What mod would you recommend? Blah, 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 not. And I always say I don't do recommendations. Because I'm lazy. No, because I if I've reviewed it, then the video is there and you will get every single opinion I have in that device in that video. I don't have other opinions outside that video on that device. So I'll always point you towards the reviews. And when you ask me which one would I recommend out of all of the ones I've reviewed, I just don't do it. I just don't do it. It's because my tastes may be very, very different to yours. Yeah. Sorry. And I always feel like it's a cop-out every time I say it. And trust me, I usually say it about at least once a day. But I just don't do recommendations for people. Unless they buy me food, alcohol, or drugs. Right. What's the album and the record player? I'm still listening to Primal Scream. Can you say, what's the difference between Bing Crosby and Walt Disney? Bing Crosby sings in What Disney? And Walt Disney. Walt Disney. Sorry. That's terrible. Right, so there you go. Oh, there's Rob. Uncle Rob is in the house. Awesome. When it comes to boards, what came first? How do you, well, obviously Evolve, as far as I know, with the Darwin. Which ones work best in your opinion? Okay. This is my take on a board. When I'm talking about a board and a mod, I'm talking about a regulated mod. Something you can adjust the voltage or the wattage with. Or if you have glasses and a small penis, do temperature control. I'm joking. I would simply say, from my simple point of view, if I can adjust the wattage, I don't care. I really don't care. Be it Dicodes, Evolve, DNA, any of them. If I can put the wattage up and down, it does what it has to do. You will get people that will tell you that the signal is cleaner on this board, or you can do your power curves on this board, or you can get your star signs on this board. I don't care. If I can put the wattage up and down, fine. That's it. Andy. Well, Andy, I should know, if you like Volvos, then that's saying enough. That's saying enough. It's, yeah, yes. I find it's like, and I'm really sorry, but I find that as time goes by, and this is something I do feel guilty about, is that the majority of time I'm talking about vape gear to people, I will admit that I am talking from the perspective of somebody that's seen a lot in the past 10 years in the game and doesn't really give a shit about a lot of things like he used to. I don't get upset by a lot of things that I used to, because I just kind of like go with the flow now, because when it comes to using the gear, there's enough things in the world to get upset about. As long as it's machined well, as long as it can put out power and it can make my coil glow red, most of the time I'm a happy bunny. You don't know how to use die codes. I'm using the die codes right now, I'll have you know. And I'll have you know that the buttons haven't worked. I've been vaping it at 27 watts for the past year. That's how well I know die codes. Oh, hello! When did you wake up? You coming up? Right. What have you got stuck in your fur? Sorry. Dog break. Dog break. You're covered in mud. Stupid Doug. Right. MOSFET or not. MOSFETs, I don't have an issue with MOSFETs either. I've got a lot of MOSFETs up. MOSFETs. Any thoughts on banana stickers or 10 type ratings? Adrian, do you know something, Adrian? I'm going to be very blunt with you here, my friend. I love it when you ask me questions, because you're usually coming from here and I'm coming from here, and we never meet in the middle, and I love you for it. I can seldom tell how much you really like the products without most getting 2 thumbs up. Sure, you right, okay. I'm going to be very open and honest here. And I don't know what happened there. I just dropped my mouse and I seem to have moved everything to the other side. Oh, there we go. Right. This is not directed at Adrian in any shape or form, but it might be. I will admit, I do not give ratings. I do not do 1 out of 5 or banana stickers or anything like that, because for me, if you don't understand from my summary at the end, or during the up close, I will point out what I think is wrong with the device. I will say that again in the summary at the end, what I think is wrong and what I think is good about the device. Yes, sometimes what I say is not crystal clear. There may be a wink here, there may be a that kind of thing. I kind of, and it, some people that don't know me or haven't watched my reviews, they might not know what I'm trying to say. And sometimes I try to say things without saying them, because that's the way that's who I am in real life. That's how I do things in real life. And I hate being pinned down. I hate being pinned down to a definitive answer, and so that's why I do things the way I do them. And I apologise to you, Adrian, because I do appreciate it when you watch and you leave comments, because that means the world. But I can't do it any other way. It's who I am. I hope that makes some kind of sense to somebody. It's just, case in point, yeah. Just saying 2 thumbs up. Yeah, 2 thumbs up is, oh my god, I feckin' love this. This is awesome. It's not bad. It's not shit. Means middle of the road. It's neither here nor there. It's not shit. It's not shit at all, and I would vape with it, but it's not the best thing ever. Yeah, there's lots of grey areas. Right, let's move on. More questions. Forums or Facebook? Forums. The forums were a repository of information that was there, and it was held there, and you could search for that information. So if you told me that it took X to do X, Y, and Z, then I would find that in the forum, and and it was brilliant. Whereas now with Facebook, everything's now. Has to be now. Nobody's any patience. It has to be now. And everything's a throwaway comment and all the rest of it. And that's actually got nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I'm now over 50 years old. And what was the question? Steam pugs. Do I like 2000 AD? Well, I did until I dropped them on the floor. I like 2000 AD because I have Prog 1. I also have I've got loads. I collected them from Prog 1 for years and years and years and years and years. Yes, I was a huge 2000 AD fan. Right, let's... Adrian, I must have a zero clue to subtle. No, I don't think it's that, mate. It's just that... And this is... Right. we're doing the old man thing here again now. In the 10 years I've been doing reviews, and this is... I know Adrian, and I know why we don't meet. I know why. But I find in the 10 years I've been doing this, I find that I'm going to burn in hell for saying this. People are just getting stupider. I really do believe it. There's no, unless you're shouting and breaking things and being an arsehole, then people don't seem to realise that you may not like something. You need to shout about it or be a dick. The days of being able to explain things away in a subtle manner with constructive feedback and so on seem to be gone. You have to wave your hands about in the air and scream and shout. And I'll never be that. And that's why my channel never really went big or anything like that, because I'm just not that kind of person. Anyway, Best of the Carpenters. What's the album and the record player? Primal Scream. Fuck me, you're worse than me. Right, questions. I've no idea how long I've been going for. I really don't want to know. I'm just going to keep going. These questions, a lot of them have been I've answered as we've gone along here. Chariots have done. I'll tell you what, while we're blethering away, one shout out I need to do. For those you might remember, I used to do a forum. I used to have a Shed forum, and then I closed that down. And then a wee while after, the Shed Facebook group kind of opened, and I could never ever have done any of these things without Gillian. For those of you that don't know, Gillian was... who am I kidding? Gillian runs the Facebook group. She used to run the Shed forum. She is she's the power behind the throne. And there's possibly nothing that she doesn't know about vaping anyway. But yeah, even the charity stuff. We have a Shed car boot thing where sales are done, and like 10% of every sale goes to charity. Gillian runs that like a prison camp. And oh Christ, I hope she's not watching this. So I just wanted to say, for all the years, for all the times that, all the work that she's done, thank you so much, Gillian. You have been a diamond, and my social presence, or whatever you want to call it, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you tidying up all the shite in the background. So thank you. And a slight thank you to Todd Boakes as well. I mean, he's Australian, and he's a postie, and he doesn't really do much of anything, but I like to keep him around because he makes me feel better about my own inadequacies, and he has a really cool car, and I love him to bits. Sorry, Todd. Paul, my, I can't wait for Saturday. See, I'm really worried about this. I really am. Adrian is unsubscribing. Hi, Chris. Thank you very much. Where do I see vaping in the next few years? Right. Here we go. Every year, this is another observation from an old git in a shed. It's like a job. It's like, you know, you think of as you've gone old, you've been in a job. Remember when you started in that job? There was always these old farts that used to stand about going, I remember when we did it this way. And you used to go, shower of lazy bastards, and this is the way we should do it, and you were the voice, and you ignored the people that were there for years. And then all of a sudden, you find yourself in their shoes. You're the old not has been, but you're the old one that has seen everything happen, and you're then looking at the newbies coming in who are saying that this is the way you should do it and all that jazz. Vaping's the same. Vaping's the same, I think. Every year I hear the same complaints, the same moans, the same... There's people that have built YouTube careers on saying that we're doomed, we're going to die, and vaping's overdone and dusted, or predicted this or predicted that, and they're full of shit. They haven't got a clue. They just, like, you know, if you say something 3 times on YouTube, they think it's true. It's not. Every year it's the same, and I think that will continue to go. We'll keep bemoaning the death of vaping, but it'll still be here. It'll still keep going, and there will still be hobbyists. There will still be people like me, you, and so on and so forth. I do, however, agree a little bit with what some people say, and that I think our numbers will continue to dwindle. The hobbyists will... Yeah, I think we'll get less and less. I really do. There will always be the hardcore hobbyists, and some of the people that are coming in now will become those hardcore hobbyists, which is great. So whenever you get somebody coming into your Facebook group asking questions and whatnot, encourage them. Because these are the people that are going to keep the hobby alive. But it's the mod makers I worry about. I really do worry about the mod. The number of bespoke cottage industry modders left is, you know, unless you're selling mods in the thousands now, it's, yeah. Aye, I could go off on that one. Jillian's the real boss. Yeah, she's got the balls you're missing. You used to have a sub forum where no one liked you except one man. Shout out for the Patreon people. I'll mention that as well. That's something else that's changed in 10 years. America was always ahead of the UK. There was things that American reviewers did that UK reviewers were never able to do. Because that's just the way America was. America is just a different people. Capitalism, you know, they embrace it more and all that. And we're, in the UK, we're kind of, you know, bad teeth, top hats and upper selves and what, all that kind of stuff. I really shouldn't say these things out loud, should I? Anyway, so I used to this is honestly how it started. I used to give away stuff, okay? I remember back in the day when I was giving away stuff, and I used to get really, really upset when I used to give stuff away and then see it being sold 2 days later, when you've had a heart, you know, somebody's going, I need my welfare check's not come through or whatnot, or I can't afford these nice mods that you have, and my 3 dogs and my cat, and all this bullshit. And I used to fall for it hook, line and sinker. I used to send out stuff and then you would see them selling it. Anyway, and then I kind of got to the point where I didn't worry about it. If I would just send out free shit, do X1s and groups and things like that and send out free shit. And then it started bugging me again because it was always the same people that were winning and yeah. So then I thought, I'm going to do a Patreon. And this isn't a plug for it. I tell you now, do not join my Patreon. It's really bad. You don't win a lot of good gear. It's pretty shit, and people just join it so they can take the piss out of me. That's the only reason for it. And it's $1.99 plus VAT every month. Anyway, so that's why I started the Patreon, was so I could do, when I do my free shit giveaways, 1 or 2 a month, then I know it's going to people that have paid for the privilege. That sounds really, really bad. That does sound shit now that I say it out loud. Yeah, I don't mind, because these people have paid, let's just say, £2 a month, and they get an opportunity to win something, and a lot of people do win gear and a lot of people don't, and I'll shut up now. Yeah, that's how I ended up. Yeah, anyway, Frankenmiser. Alright, dude. And Peter Edwards. And anyway, I should say, yeah, patrons, they're lovely people. To be honest, the Patreon people just join, because everything that comes in for review, I do an unboxing video. Okay, I do an unboxing video. And it usually goes wrong. It's very similar to what a lot of other reviewers do, but make out that it's their review. They do the review on their unboxing, which is the most dumbass thing I've ever seen in my life. How can you know a product, its ins and outs, how it works with different coil setups and all the rest of it, if you're only going to do an unboxing? That's bullshit. If you base your buying on somebody unboxing something, you're an idiot. Sorry, you are. You want to know that the person that's doing a review means it's been tested. And I'll get off my high horse. Back to questions. Peter Edwards is here, which is always a good thing. John EVL, Question: do you have to change hair dyes after mastering white balance? Now, John. There we go. It landed in a cushion. Honestly, it landed in a cushion. That's my Wraith. I'm not going to break my Wraith. It's a good Atty. Love you, John. John makes the best RTAs ever by a guy called John that lives in England and has a BMW bike. You should worry. Is that brew not cold? But yes, it is cold. Great person, Gillian. Yes, she is. Will you be unboxing? Yeah, Phoenix Vapes. Yes, I will be. Shrewsbury next year. Yay! There's a thing. Vape events. As I said earlier on, vape events, Vape Fest, all vape events. Brilliant. Go meet up with people that you talk to on the internet. Go and meet them in real life. Have a laugh. Have a pint. It's the best thing. It's the best thing ever. Some of the best laughs I've had have been drinking espresso martinis. Sorry. Yeah, just go and do them. They're just brilliant. They really are. When I came to Facebook group, you were basically made fun of. I knew I was in the right place. Oh, 100%. Turnwood FX and Fine Mods are the only two bespoke. Yeah, it's a shame that. What's the best BF mod you recommend? I've kind of covered that. I'm sorry, I apologise. Is it worth the upgrade from the Tripod V1 to the V2? I also covered that in the review. I did say in the review, I was very precise in the review, I did say, don't forget, will you leave the VAT out of it, for crying out loud? It doesn't make me angry or upset, the fact that you mentioned the VAT, so stop mentioning it. Right, I'm going. Hi, Lynn. Do you usually enjoy a drink on a Saturday? I can't drink. I'm very. I tend not to drink anymore. I'm very sarcastic. I wish we could bring. I don't think vaping's that. Hang on. Bear with me. Oh, there goes my back. I'm not gonna lie. You're right. There aren't as many new things as there was. Right, and this was a question that somebody did ask. I do mention in some reviews that I think a plateau has been reached where, in order to make a bad RDA, RTA, you have to be a bit of a moron, because there's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them have been made previously. The template for a good RDA or RTA is there. To make it badly, words, you have to be kind of special. So yeah, I do believe that there is a plot. Yes. I haven't truly had a really bad RTA, RDA in a very long time. And it does make it hard for reviewing these days. That's unless you're prepared to make drama out of nothing. However, there's still things that come along that just do. I mean, like, I'm going to say it. Things like when you look how much juice the Imperia holds. The Imperia's tiny, and look how much juice it holds. It's insane, and I love the Imperia. The Narva by Narmods shouldn't taste any better than any other RTA in the market. When you look at the deck and everything that's going on, it's machined beautifully, but the flavour from it is somehow just that little bit better than a lot of other RTAs. There are little gems that still come along, but a lot now comes down to the machining and the pricing. I do have an opinion on the price, and I think some ATIs have just got a little bit out of hand in the pricing front. But anyway, Mr. Hayes is, I'll say this now, and I've said this in other videos, is what he is, and he does what he does very well. Love him, hate him, whatever you want to say about him, and I could say many things, but I choose not to. He's very, very good at what he does, and he makes a lot of money from it, and I tip my hat to him for it. And I'll leave it at that. My cat's fleas are very ill. Can I have the Narva? Yes, it's in the post. I'll send it second mail straight away. Is there any questions? Because I'm going to have to go. Let's say how to build an atmosphere. I've been there and have to use durable pods, disposables. I think we've all heard enough of them, to be honest. I've covered that. Cartos. Oh, I miss Cartos. Actually, when we go on about Cartos and whatnot, we're actually back there with borrow tanks and RBAs. We're not. We've come full circle. We really have. I don't know if I can answer that. Zenarchi on YouTube. A bit about my and don't go there. A bit about your personal experience and maturing on air. In my head, when I was reviewing 10 years ago, I was just like I am now. Realistically, when I started off and whatnot, I just didn't have the confidence to be me on video, whereas now I do. That's the only difference. The review styles, the reviewing up close and summaries and whatnot haven't changed. I used to do an all-in-one take. I used to talk a lot more, like I am now, for some reason. Holy shit. I used to talk a lot more, and I never cut stuff out. But then there came a point when everybody moaned about me taking too long on videos and saying you talk too much for too long. And squirrel, you're always looking out the window and you're always forgetting what you're talking about, which is true. So I started editing my videos. My video is normally, a 15-minute, 10-minute video is normally about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes worth of video that I've recorded. And I have to edit it down to 10-15 minutes. I don't know if there will ever be a demand for going back to that, but yeah, there we go. Oh, the wee Bobby and the big Bobby, woohoo! Remember them well. Come on, the blue foam. I've told this story before as well. My spheroid. Remember the spheroid? You had the blue float. Well, I know you did it. Carters and what, but you used to get the fur. What's it called? I know somebody's going to remember. What's the filter material that you used for aquariums? Furval? No. You used to get that and cut it into slices and push it into the top of your atty. Yeah, that takes me back. I still have my Carto punched. So do I. A nail. Is it true you're about to appear on the best vape panel show on a Saturday night this Saturday? I'm not going to appear in it because you're all just different to me. I'll be there. With real influencers. Squirrel. Opinions on the Wicked RPA series. As you've mentioned pricing, and I've got the V2 and Amiga from you. Be interested to know your thoughts. As I said earlier on, if I have an opinion on something, it's going to be in the review for that product. Sorry. And as I go back to what I said earlier on, that does feel like a cop-out. Vape for fun. Fluval. Yes, that's the stuff. Thank you. In Germany, the vaping market is nearly dead. Big tax and like with 98% of the market are pots and disposal for any diesel vaping is a disaster. Aye. Do you think there'll be a Hall of Vape next year? I've still not heard anything. I can't believe I missed this year. I was gutted. I was so gutted. I really hope there's a Hall of Vape next year. Oh God, man. Fish tank foam, vaping at 5 watts and be thrilled by it. I've never had a problem buying it. Still have bulk out. Fluval, yep, got you. I've hardly vaped. I need to vape something. I'm going to stop here, okay? We're winding this up now. Because I have now officially done the longest video I have ever done. I can't believe that I've talked for 2 hours. Holy bang. Here we go. The one takeaway for me is over the past 10 years of doing reviews for hardware, I'm very, very lucky to be in the position I'm in where I get sent some beautiful gear for free to review for you. Very lucky. And I know some people might poo-poo this, but I consider it a very privileged position to be in, and that's why for me, still to this day, I think reviewing is important, because somebody is putting their faith in you to showcase their product, even if you are doing pros and cons, and giving an honest opinion on something that will hopefully help a potential buyer, which is you. I know the days of doing things for information are almost dead. People want entertained now. I still like to believe that I'm more in the informative segment of things. Hopefully I am a tiny little bit entertaining. I know I don't do it very well, but anyway. So yes, I'm very lucky. So once again, to all the mod makers, juice makers, companies, wherever they're coming from, thank you for sending on your gear. It's appreciated. Thank you to you, the most important people for watching the videos, for commenting, for taking the piss. A lot of people don't get it and understand it. I love sarcasm. Sarcasm is the best invention in the world. Some of my humour can be rather dry, if you want to call it humour, but I'm sorry if I ever offend you, but I have never purposely set out to offend anybody in these videos. It's always banter. Please remember that. Please remember that. But thank you so much for watching. 10 years. Will I be doing this in another 10 years? Who the hell knows? Will I be doing this in another year? Who the hell knows? We'll just play it by ear. But as I always say, please go and watch other reviewers. If you see a product, if you watch Grim Green review something first, go and search and see who else has reviewed it and watch their reviews and get opinions and feedback on it. Mainly because Nick's pretty shit at reviewing and he always fucks stuff up. So, I'm joking. Actually, to be fair, watching Nick do a Genesis back in the day was the highlight of my weekend. It was terrible. There was nothing he hated more than building mesh. If it wasn't a dripper, then he used to get in the right tiz. And I say that with a lot of love. Yeah, just thank you. We've got to do a little bit of the justice for TJ. And this is the main reason that a lot of you are here. Not for me, but for the dog. Because for 10 years, he's been in here being my pal, haven't you? And he's awesome, and I love him to bits. And before I go, I just want to say to you, there's one thing you should never forget. I am a vaping professional. Don't forget that. So I'll just wrap it around the first short post. And